Please be seated. What a wonderful day. It's so wonderful to have everybody here today, in person. So, distinguished guests, graduands, family and friends, it gives me enormous pleasure to formally open this graduation ceremony. This is a truly special occasion and a deeply joyful event. And And after 3 years, it's wonderful to be back to in-person graduation here in Brighton. Graduates, this is very much your day. It's a day to celebrate your achievements and to reflect on an important phase of your personal journey that's coming to an end, but equally to look forward to what lies ahead. Now, given the past 2 years, it's been a really challenging journey. But you've made it. You're here. And I'd like us all to reflect and acknowledge the many impacts the pandemic has had, and in some cases continues to have, on our families and friends, on the university and all my amazing colleagues, and also on you, our graduands, and on your time as a student. But graduands, now is the time to look to the future. Graduation ceremonies are always the high point of the academic year, bringing together as they do your family and friends with the whole staff of the university to support and celebrate your achievements. Graduates, you also know how hard you have worked to get here and how hard we have challenged you to get here. So today marks the culmination of those efforts. As each of you crosses the stage and becomes a graduate of the University of Brighton, as you do so, I hope you feel as proud of us as we do of each and every one of you. At this week's ceremonies, we will celebrate graduates aged 19 to 76 and from 86 countries from across the globe. And we're very proud of the diversity of backgrounds and nationalities that make up our university, and long may that remain so. Now, graduates, while you are undoubtedly the stars of the show, we do have some other incredibly important people here today. So on behalf of the entire university, I would like to thank your family, your friends, and your supporters who have been there for you in so many ways while you have been with us. Also here on the stage and around the auditorium are a huge number of talented and dedicated academic and professional services colleagues who have played an important role in enabling you to get to this point. So, graduands, you have a task. I want you to join with me to say thank you to your families and supporters and to the staff of the university. So can I ask you to rise? Thank you. Now, the other thing I know about the University of Brighton graduates is we can produce a Brighton roar if we try hard enough. So this is to celebrate and thank your families and supporters and the staff of the university. So let's hear it for them. Okay, should we call that the warm-up? Now, practice makes perfect. So do you want to have another crack at that? Should we go again? Right, loud Brighton roar, come on. Brilliant. Please be seated. You knew you had it in you. So graduates, today marks a really significant personal milestone for each and every one of you. As you celebrate with your friends and families and supporters, I also ask you to reflect on the fact that none of us ever truly stops learning. I hope that you'll carry with you the experience you've gained while you've been with us as you take your career further. Wherever life takes you, we'll be there to support you. We'll be there and wanting to hear about your amazing journey. So today marks a beginning, not an end, as we look to all of you to realise your potential and to shape the future. You are the future. You'll also do so as members of the University Alumni Network. Now, as an alumnus of the university, this is a lifelong link to your fellow graduates and to the 160,000 alumni who have gone before you. The network provides advice, connections, and an incredibly valuable community of support. You can access this for years to come, and in years to come, others will seek your wisdom. So please, if you haven't already, contact the alumni team after the event. They're in the hall next door. Give us a contact detail so we can keep in touch with you and so you can tell us about your amazing journey. And make sure you get your alumni pin. In the time that you have studied with us, it would be a profound understatement to say that the world has changed. But the role and the role of value of universities is being questioned like no other time. Our response to that is clear. Just look at our world-leading research, much of which was acknowledged recently in the Research Excellence Framework outcome, and many of those extraordinary academic colleagues are here with me today. At our overwhelmingly positive social and economic impact upon our community, on our crucial role in developing professionals, innovators, leaders, that's you. Graduates, all of you sitting here today are the best possible response to any cynicism about the positive power of higher education in our society. For as much as we are living in a world facing challenges and uncertainties, it remains a world full of possibilities and opportunities. And in such a world, the ability to combine knowledge and practice with the personal qualities of resilience, adaptability, and creativity is becoming even more important. And as Brighton graduates, I know you have those qualities. The university will continue to play its part in ensuring that our research, our knowledge exchange, our community engagement, our partnerships and our teaching provide the appropriate conditions for our students to develop their practical wisdom to enable them to thrive going forward. Graduates, yours is the future. But in doing so, in moving forward and making a positive difference, I urge you to do 3 things. Keep learning. There will always be more to learn. Keep on believing in yourselves because we passionately believe in you. And above all, stay curious. Curiosity opens doors. Curiosity provides new knowledge. Curiosity creates new opportunities. And finally, I want to thank you for making the University of Brighton your university. You have all made a mark and contributed to who we are during the time you've been with us. You've built memories and friendships that will last a lifetime. Carry those memories with you as you make your own unique mark on the future. So from all of us at the University of Brighton, congratulations and thank you. I now have a few simple instructions as we move to the presentation of awards. We're about to start that process, and you will have been, as you have noticed, been seated in a particular order. It's incredibly, I know you're dynamic, challenging, curious Brighton graduates. now is not the moment to challenge the order in which you've been seated. It all goes horribly wrong otherwise. So please, just for this one last time, stay in the order we've placed you. And as you cross the stage, and we handshake, high five, fist bump, elbow thing, hug, whatever, it's your moment. It will be you on the large screen and not me. We are, of course, recording all of this, so it will be available for you to show your children and your children's children and so on and so forth. And we're also live streaming because we have families and supporters around the world who are watching. Now, families and supporters, a very simple ask of you. You have, I believe, within you, at least 2 to 3 years of pent-up joy. And it is your opportunity to express that joy when your graduate crosses the stage. Doing so within the bounds of common decency and the law. So please feel free to express yourself. This is a deeply joyous event. So, with all of the instructions issued and everything in place, I will now call upon the Dean of the School of Architecture, Technology and Engineering, Professor Mohammed Arif, to start the awards. Professor Arif.
Degree of Master of Architecture, Haria Athientis. Mariam Ayub. Bruna Borges Joachim. Barnaby Maynard. Joanna Maloney. Clarissa O'Driscoll. Zulfikar Rajwani. Stephanie Ralph. Alice Richardson. Degree of Master of Arts, having followed a program of study entitled Applied Critical and Cultural Theory of Design and Digital Fabrication, Kyle James Keane. Interior Design, Namita Gandhi. Charlotte Holt. Beth Starling. Shuki Wen. Danny Young. Degree of Master of Science, having followed a program of study entitled Hydromorphology, Eleanor Crabb. Data Analytics, Stephen Salama. Digital and Technology Solutions Specialist, Data Analytics, Chatra George. User Experience Design, Anna Hausen. Research degrees, degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Recognition of a program of work entitled Model-Based Management of Cyber Resiliency for Healthcare Systems. Mirsini Atiano. In recognition of a program of work entitled Development and Characterization of an Innovative Battery Thermal Management System for Electric Vehicles with Loop Heat Pipes and Graphite Sheet, Marco Bernagozzi. In recognition of a program of work entitled A Fast and Accurate Model of Explosion Fragments to Help Determine Vehicle Survivability, David Felix. That concludes the presentations for the School of Architecture, Technology, and Engineering at this ceremony. I now call upon Dr. Stefan Spekesser, Associate Dean of the School of Business and Law, to make the presentations for that school.
School of Business and Law, degree of Master of Business Administration, Marib Khan. Leadership, James Bradley. Thomas Carter. John Evans. Alexis Howsam. Merlin E. Ellis Jonas. Kevin Rosario Johnson. Degree of Master of Laws, Harry Gates. Catherine Smithard. Harriet Somerib. International Law and Social Justice, Ioannis Klaras. Natalie Relton. Degree of Master of Science, Finance and Accounting, Rarinson Palamipafang. Thank you. Finance and Investment, Mahinda Hayara. Finance and Risk Management, Yanu Mualisaran. International Event Management, Ornella Prue. International Tourism Management, Saud Al-Zaban. Sadie Rockcliffe. Management, Raykan Naif S. Al-Mutari. Amir Azain. Merwish Faraz. Mohammed Atikul Islam. Rabia Koka. Aditya Thakur. Management, Entrepreneurship, Samir Agai. Management, Human Resources, Raju Ahmed. Jahangir Alam. Khalid Marak Al-Sobai. Mohammed Zuhurul Amin Chowdhury. Ahadul Islam. Alex John. Tulsi De Purba. Dipali Sachin Takate. Marketing, Jad Fernandez. Marketing, Branding and Communications, Prachi Shrikant Deola. Christina Fairhurst. Liz Hawkins. Ayumide Oyela Ru. Marketing, Digital Marketing, Natalie Barb. Vera Lucia Bösch. Madhuri. Michelle Miricola. Rianne O'Neill. Hyogi Richards. Anna Seville. Research degrees for degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a program of work entitled Lived Experiences of Women in Leadership Positions in the Public Sector in Saudi Arabia post-promulgation of Vision 2030, Azar Gavir.
Thank you.
That concludes the presentations for the School of Business and Law and the first part of the ceremony.
We now move to the presentation of our Honorary Graduate. Now, this is the highest honour the university can give. So I will now invite Dr. Gary Bickley to present our Honorary Graduate, Joe Townsend. You look at them.
Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands, graduates, families and friends, I'm honoured to introduce Joe Townsend. This is a day I've been looking forward to for over 2 years. When the university considers awarding honorary doctorates, it seeks individuals who have not only pushed the boundaries of their field for the benefit of society, but who also reflect the values that are important to us at Brighton: creativity, sustainability, partnership, and inclusivity. Today, we seek to honour such an individual. In 2018, during his first tour of duty as a Royal Marine Commando in Afghanistan, Joe's life changed dramatically. He stepped on a landmine, causing an explosion, which resulted in Joe losing both legs, aged just 19. Since that moment, Joe has fought back to make an incredible contribution to sport and sports science at the highest level. He is a hugely inspiring role model of resilience, positivity, and a frankly awesome determination to push himself and overcome challenges. After being airlifted to the UK from Afghanistan, Joe spent 5.5 months in hospital, 6 weeks in intensive care. He then spent the best part of 3 years in rehab, undergoing over 50 surgical operations. Yet Joe was determined to regain the fitness levels and desire to triumph that had led him to earn a place as a Royal Marine. The path he chose was through sport. Joe once referred to his introduction to sport in the wake of losing his legs as something that started a little fire. I can go out with any of my friends on the handbike and I can leave them for dust. It's a good feeling. I know, I've been left in the dust. Less than 7 months after leaving the military rehab centre at Headley Court in Surrey, Joe completed the UK Ironman event, becoming the first wheelchair athlete to complete one of the toughest Ironman courses in the world. This involved a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike, followed by a full 26.2-mile marathon. It's inclusive, but it's not for everyone. He has since completed Ironman UK for the second time and also competed at the famous Hawaii Ironman. Joe has since lit up a dizzying array of elite sporting events, literally. So in 2012, he descended on a 115-metre zip wire to light the Paralympic flame at London's Olympic Stadium. You should check that out on YouTube, it's worth a watch. As an international para-triathlete, Joe has achieved extraordinary success. In 2014, he won 4 gold medals at the Invictus Games, competed at the 2016 Rio Paralympics, then he won gold again at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Australia, and he went on to win the trial event for the 2020 Tokyo Games. As well as speed and power, Joe has continually proven himself a master of endurance. In 2012, he joined a team of wounded ex-soldiers to tackle one of the toughest cycling events, the 8-day, 3,000-mile race across America. Joe told the BBC at the time, 3,051 miles across America with 170,000 feet of climbing is going to be tough for anyone, let alone a team of injured servicemen with life-changing injuries. He wrote a first-class dissertation on the demands of the event. Now based in Eastbourne, Joe works closely with the sports science researchers, including our world-renowned team of experts here at the University of Brighton. He has collaborated with colleagues in the School of Sport and Health Sciences, pushing the boundaries of physical endurance to carry out grueling tests on his hand cycle in the heat and the altitude chamber. And he's teamed up with researchers in the School of Architecture, Technology and Engineering to pioneer developments in race wheelchair technology that will help many others achieve new targets, transform and enrich their lives along the way. As a motivational and inspirational speaker, Joe carries regular talks to industry, schools, major national and international companies. But it is his own example that shines brightest. In the early stages of his rehab, Joe admitted moments of darkness and doubt. He talked about going from being a Royal Marines commando to being like a newborn child. But rather than dwell on his situation, he focused on the future, driven by the achievement of small goals every day. Over time, those achievements came together into something truly special. Today, we celebrate his outstanding achievements. Tomorrow, he graduates in Sport and Exercise Science with a BSc Honours. Joe's faced every challenge he has set himself brilliantly, and with a dazzling drive to keep on doing so. Having competed some of the world's toughest sporting challenges, I need to keep pushing myself, he has said. And we will watch, we will admire, and we will be inspired as he does so. Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands, graduates, families and friends, in recognition of his major contribution to sport and the promotion of sports science and medicine, it is my honour to present Joe Townsend for the honorary degree of Doctor of Science of the University of Brighton. I have pleasure in asking Joe to address the audience.
Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is an immense honour to be here with you and a privilege to accept this honorary doctorate. I'd like to start with a few thank yous. Firstly, to my beautiful wife, who is due to provide us with a second child any day now. Without your love and commitment to pick up the slack and care for our family, I would not have been able to fulfil my sporting aspirations. For this, I am eternally grateful. Secondly, thank you to the University of Brighton. After the Rio Paralympics, I moved my training base from the Triathlon Performance Centre at Loughborough back to Eastbourne to spend more time with my family. Not only was I welcomed with use of an exceptional training facility on my doorstep, I was supported by well-renowned sports scientists that enabled my continued development as an athlete, leading to numerous lifetime best performances, culminating in international gold medals and becoming a Commonwealth champion. And a special mention to my coach and friend, Dr. Gary Brickley, for the commitment and countless hours you have put into my development as an athlete. Your dedication, mentorship, and friendship has been endless. And somehow you've managed to make passing out during maximal exercise testing in the labs a somewhat enjoyable experience. You have certainly enriched me as a person, athlete, and sports scientist. The road that has brought me here has been bumpy, to say the least. Although the teachings discovered through the school of life and the morals that I have adopted and strive to hold myself to account are as a direct result of the hardships that being a human present. Life isn't always easy, and I do not believe people are born special or exceptional. Granted, many people will be brought into this world in a much more fortunate position than others, although every individual is going to face their own personal battles, and what may seem insignificant to one person may be all-consuming to another. This is called adversity, and I believe adversity to be one of life's most fruitful educators. 19 years old, lying on the floor of a war zone, propped up by my rucksack, I looked down. My right leg was gone, just completely gone, replaced by a mangled stump with shredded combat trousers and blood pouring out. I look at my left leg, which is somehow bent up behind me, although no boot containing a foot in sight. It's not your everyday situation, nor one you think you will ever encounter. Of course, as a soldier, you are aware of the risks. You watch the news prior to deployment, you see your friends suffering injuries, and you are trained on what you're supposed to do in that situation. But until you're faced with the situation, you really have no idea on how you're going to react. To this day, I'm unsure of my mindset in that moment. I'm not sure if it was through sheer panic, confusion from the blood loss, or just a lack of other conceivable idea on how to deal with this situation. But remaining calm, I cracked a joke, stayed composed, and started trying to tourniquet my legs to stop the bleeding. At the time, it was likely easier to revert to a past learning and adopt that as my pragmatic approach to resolving the situation than develop a new strategy. As I sat there trying to get my tourniquets out of my medical pouch, unable to grasp the buckle due to my left arm being shattered in the blast, the troop medic reached me with disregard for his own safety, bearing in mind we were apparently now in the middle of a minefield, and proceeded to perform life-saving first aid, relieving me of my command of the situation. It was at this moment the pain started to sink in and the gravity of the situation hit me. I was on the ground for over 1 hour waiting for the Chinook helicopter to arrive, fighting to stay awake. I had an overwhelming desire to shut my eyes. I liken the feeling to when you're chilling on the sofa with a bottle of wine after a hard week at work. Come on, we've all done it. You're watching a fantastic film and you really want to see the end, so you struggle, trying to fight your eyes closing and that desire to drift off to sleep. All my body wanted to do was rest, but I knew that in that moment, if I gave in, I wouldn't be waking up on the sofa at 2 o'clock in the morning with a stiff neck and a crooked back. People always say, your strength of mind is incredible. I don't know how you do it. You're a hero. I don't see it that way. Frankly, I'm selfish. I've always quite enjoyed life and had no desire to exit this existence at that time. Granted, I thought about my family as I was lying there and the pain and the upset that this situation would cause them. But I was also 19 years old. I had beer to drink and escapades to endure. I was not ready to give that up. So then the problem comes. By the time I've reached the age of 20, I'd experienced adversity to such an extent that as a cocky young Royal Marines commando with a reality check that I'm not made of glass and a perspective that any other situation I'm about to face in life is unlikely to be as bad as my past, I have this confidence that if I can overcome this, I can do anything. And granted, I've achieved many sporting successes and accepted numerous accolades for my endeavours, although this has never been important to me. In life, I've always pursued areas of interest and always strived to enjoy what it is that I'm doing and the company in which I share my life experiences with. Of course, life has obstacles, things you don't want to do, but are a necessity to achieve the end goal. The mindset that gets on, challenges the adverse situation, puts in the hard graft, and refuses to bow down to the situation is what makes you a winner. And sat here in this room today, you are all winners. In many ways, I was fortunate. On the floor in Afghanistan, in and out of surgery in hospital, I did not have a choice. My sacrifices were great, but my options were limited: survive or die. Sat here today, you had an option. I finally just completed my BSc, and it was hard. There were so many other factors in life that I would have liked to have prioritised. Sat here today, many of you have achieved a doctorate or master's level of education. For years, you have applied yourself to develop your knowledge to achieve greatness and be sat in this room today. You have made sacrifices, missed nights out with friends, missed putting children to bed, family meals, juggled studying on top of work and family commitments. And during the entire course of your studies, you had a choice. You could have backed out. You did not have to do this. Nobody was there to force you to do this. You did this. You had an option to quit, give in at any time, but you refused in the knowledge that the adversity would be worth the final award. And it is that mindset, that desire to achieve, that makes each and every one of you a winner. I'm not going to sit here today and tell you that because you've encountered adversity and overcome this, that life is going to be easy. But what you do have is a tool, a life lesson, and the self-knowledge that you have the mindset to achieve. Do not forget this. Do not downplay what you have achieved today. Whether you have undertaken this course for personal growth or as a stepping stone to achieve a career of choice, know that you are a winner. And the next time you face adversity, you have been here before, maybe not the same circumstances, but you have been here, you have fought, and you have won. Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this honour.
I think there are many, many lessons to take from that, Joe, and thank you very much for reminding us all about the tools that we have and the capabilities we can find in ourselves to succeed. If Joe can do what Joe does, which is extraordinary, we can all do our bit, so thank you. And also, in terms of public service, can I say a huge thank you for your time as a Marine and for your service to the country and for all of us. We'll now continue with the awards of our recognition of our awards, and I will now like to invite Dr. Angela Glynn, who is the Dean of the School of Sport and Health, to continue the awards.
School of Sports and Health Sciences, degree of Master of Research, Health Research, Colin Fitzpatrick. Degree of Master of Science, Advanced Practice Health, Rose Hesling. Louise West. Applied Exercise Physiology, Aaron Dave Suresh Kumar. Health and Management, Namitha Chandran. Neuromusculoskeletal Physiotherapy, Teresa Spurin. Occupational Therapy Pre-Registration, Niall Lawler. Podiatry, Irene van Steenland. Postgraduate Diploma, Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, Emma Baker. Danielle Blakely. Postgraduate Certificate, Clinical Practice, Acute Care, Alicia Gurung. Clinical Practice, Cardiac Care, Kira Seward. Clinical Practice, Emergency Care, Ran Vian Newcomb. Clinical Practice, Intensive Care, Amy Braganza. Salvatore Cardillo. Elisa Rose Castro. Charlotte Crowder. Dina Davis. Sonia Franzosi. Freya Hatter. Henrietta James. Sarah Johns. Postgraduate Certificate in Education, Secondary Dance, Celine Bakir. Isabel Cook. Emily Daniels. Lily Faye Dunhill. Lucy Fowler. Scarlett Gallia. Robin Harvey. Juana Popplestone. Abby Richards. Beth Ann Sidaway. Emma Louise Wilson. Secondary Physical Education, Joshua Bantz. Matthew Barnett. Larissa Carter. Nicola Chamberlain. Rachel Coelho. Kieran Cruttenden. Oliver Dumbrell. Olivia Evans. John T. Freeman. Oliver Hall. Eva Harrell. Andrew J. Benjamin Kingston. Mary Kate McDowell. Tyler Miller. Essie Mitchell. Hannah Nash. Rachel Nash. Ryan Parrish. Sarah Rawu. Luke Waddell. Abigail Wiltshire. Emma Worsfold. Sophie Wright. Professional Graduate Certificate in Education, Secondary Physical Education, Zachary Masterton Pippett. Research degrees. Degree of Doctor of Philosophy. In recognition of a programme of work entitled Supervision Practices in an English National Health Service Organisation, Complexity and Paradox, Denise Harris. In recognition of a programme of work entitled Leader Identity Construction and Role Modelling in Nursing, Study of 3 Cases, Rachel Heathershaw. In recognition of a programme of work entitled Three-Dimensional Surface Morphology and Anthropometry of the Paediatric Foot, Matchis Varga. The posthumous award of Degree of Doctor of Philosophy in recognition of a programme of work entitled Practitioner Resilience, a cooperative inquiry to develop a resilience-based supervisory approach for the early career phase, is awarded to Caroline Hudson, who sadly passed away in January 2021. The certificate is being collected on behalf of her family by Caroline's husband, Tony. That concludes the presentations for the School of Sport and Health Sciences. I now call upon Professor Stephen Madison, Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Science, to make the presentations for that school.
Good afternoon, School of Humanities and Social Science. Congratulations to everyone. Degree of Master of Arts, Community Psychology, Ariane Elise Aclarenal. Hayley Jameson. Stacey Link. Louisa Stanix. Creative Writing, Alice Pierre. Cultural and Critical Theory, Philosophy and Critical Theory, Megan Locke. Reese Shepherd. Globalisation, Politics, Conflict and Human Rights, Daisy Gould. Harrison Templeman Brodby. Teaching English to speakers of other languages, Simone Hess. Anna Radowski. Laura Wilson. Teaching English to speakers of other languages with information and communications technologies, Laura Farage. Degree of Master of Science, Psychotherapy, Tara St John. Social Work, Justina Bryce. India Malandine. Catherine O'Keefe. Postgraduate Diploma, Approved Mental Health Practice, Katie Bennett. Catherine Villas. Louise Williams. Humanistic Psychotherapeutic Counselling, Turney Dimmock. Chris Foster. David Jordan. James Pannett. Zahur Zabar. Matthew Thomas. Julie Wan. Psychodynamic Psychotherapeutic Counselling, Anna Berry. Sarah Doan. Leah Windells. School of Business and Law, Degree of Master of Science, International Management, Sharon Nowecki. Management, Human Resources, Nora bin Saban. School of Sport and Health Sciences, Professional Graduate Certificate in Education, Secondary Dance, Annabelle Jamera. School of Humanities and Social Science, Research Degrees. Degree of Doctor of Philosophy. In recognition of a programme of work entitled Black British Publishers and Pan-Africanism 1960 to 1980, Khadija George. Congratulations. In recognition of a programme of work entitled A Successful Failure, Les Ballets, 1933, an object-based approach to an avant-garde ballet company, Caroline Hamilton. Congratulations. Congratulations. In recognition of a programme of work entitled Aboriginal Australian Textile Design in the Northern Territory, Post-Colonial Making as Praxis, Joanne Pilcher. In recognition of a programme of work entitled Fatherhood in Context, Exploring Men's Parenting in Multiple Settings, Jason Preston. That concludes the presentations for Humanities and Social Science and this ceremony.
Thank you. It's now my duty to close this ceremony. I think what this ceremony has illustrated is the extraordinary breadth of talent of you, our graduates, but also many of life's challenges before us. And with perseverance and endurance and determination, how those can be overcome in the most challenging of circumstances. And I am immensely proud of our new honorary doctorate. I'm also very proud of the way we've all come together to recognise Caroline, for whom we have awarded a posthumous award. These things happen in communities, and it says something very strong about us, that we have the kindness and the care to look out for each other in the days that follow. So thank you for your generosity to her husband. In closing, I'd like to draw on the words of the late, great Professor Sir Stephen Hawking. Well, some of his words. He obviously said quite a lot. So Sir Stephen suggested to us to remember to look up at the stars and not down at our feet, to try and make sense of what we see around us and wonder what makes the universe exist, to be curious. And however difficult life seems, there will always be something you can do and something you can make a success of. And I am absolutely clear that as Brighton graduates, I know that to be true. So on behalf of all of us, I'd like to congratulate you on your achievements, and I'd like to invite you to a celebratory drink. It's free. Yeah, I know. So it will be in the Alumni Lounge in the Hewitson Hall, which is directly behind the auditorium. So first, can I ask you to, while the platform party leaves the auditorium, I will ask you to stand, and we will leave to a piece of music which is the work of a Brighton alumnus, and I suspect you may recognise it once it starts. So please stand.